Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Tesla report for Friday, October 28th, 2022. Before we look at the charts, just want to encourage you to please click like each and every time you watch any content that you happen to like on our Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. Includes the daily Tesla report. And subscribe. Subscribing to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel will apprise you of notifications if you properly set those notifications each and every time new content has been uploaded to our Wicked Stocks YouTube channel, and that is at least every day. And if you would, please share the content, tell your friends, colleagues about our analysis. So let's take a look at this chart here. We settled Wednesday above this channel top, barely, but we did eke out a higher settlement on the day. That formation at 222.38 today did hold Thursday's selling pressures, and above which I still maintain a 2 to 3 week buy signal now into the 264.43 to 268.11 area. That is a former channel bottom. You've got a former high here going back to last spring. You also have a new descending 1/3 speed line, trend defining, that is based in part on the low from Monday, Tuesday. That was Monday's low, and we've come off of that pretty strong. And we closed above a channel top at 222.38 in the process, then eliciting a 2 to 3 week, I'm going to call it a counter trend rally into the mid to upper 260s over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I'll say this while we're looking at this chart, that if we were to close today below 222.38, I think the market is likely over the same time horizon, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, to continue south into this long-term support zone that is presently on the daily chart between 175.07 and 183.47. I'm way down. The 206.85 low from May, you can see here weighted as a 2-star support, can contain 1, 2, 3 days of selling pressures, and then closing below 206.85 just another 3 to 5 days before reaching what would then be targeted support in the 175.07 to 183.47 area, targeted if we close today below 222.38. But until then, counter trend rally expected into the mid to upper 260s. Now, I say counter trend because this is a weekly chart. About a month ago, 4 full weeks ago, yes, we gapped below this trend-defining speed line that is now at 272.87, and in the process set off a sell signal that was considered more near-term, 3 to 5 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, down to 206.85, and mid to longer term, 2 to 3 months into the mid 170s to low 180s that is presently 175.76 to 183.47, or 183.87, I should say, on the weekly chart. Weekly numbers, daily numbers, a little bit different. I've got the daily numbers here lower right. So that is the big picture, just a reminder. And one last thing I'll say about this particular chart. I showed you a moment ago how we closed Wednesday above that near-term channel top that today is at 222.38. I'm going to show it one more time just to sort of drive it home, and that is 222.38. A 2 to 3 week buy signal above it into the mid to upper 260s. On that score, if we happen to settle today, the week itself, above 229.82, we actually then have a key reversal low. 229.82 was last week's high. We took out last week's low on Monday, and if we close above last week's high on Friday at the end of the week, we have an outside week, settlement above the previous week. That is a key reversal low, and that is the lowest this stock has been since the November all-time high. And that as well would be considered a buy signal into November trade. So we're already bullish above 222.38, kind of hanging by a thread. And if we close today above 229.82, which I have as a mere intraday resistance level, you can see here, but I have it in parentheses, secondary buy, if we close today, the week itself, above 229.82. On an intraday basis, if we push through 229.82, I do think 235.09 is in reach, and that is the simple trend line off these lows going back to August. This line study, this trend line can contain daily buying pressures. It is in reach today, actually, above 222.38. And once again, if we push through 229.82, 235.09 likely, where we can place a daily high. If we close today above 235.09, there's a case to be made that by the end of next week, we actually reach that 2 to 3 week objective at 264.43. All kinds of stuff going on in the mid 260s, the mid 270s, mid 260s to upper 260s. That is, if tested over the next few weeks, able to contain buying through the rest of the year, and we can fall off from there in a meaningful way. Let's take a look at the downside today because it's right here. If we happen to break, especially if we open today below 222.38. So if we open today below the 222.38 channel top, that's also a gap below yesterday's low of 222.85. That in itself would be a sell signal. So we'd have kind of a double sell signal right out of the gates if we open today below 222.38. And if so, with that kind of volatility that we've seen over the last 4 days, 212.04 in reach today. There's a session containment level. Both 220.35 and 216.20 are minor Fibonacci downside retracements over the last 4 days. But the one that I hang my hat on, so to speak, is 212.04. That is a 5/8 downside over the last 4 days. It also lines up just a bit with the high of the low on Monday of 213.50. I don't even have it here. I just want to isolate 212.04 as sort of the level to expect if we break, especially open today below 222.38. And then that is a level 212.04 that can contain session weakness. But once again, if we close today below 222.38, 206.85 is likely within just a few days. And then, as I say, closing back below 222.38, that failed buy signal that would be indicated by closing back below 222.38. The failure to follow through on such a classic buy signal carries with it weight that should play on the market as we move into November, the next 2 to 3 weeks, then anticipating this 175.07 to 183.47 area where we can bottom out not only through the rest of the year, but perhaps through the first quarter of next and round up from there. That is all I've got for Friday's Daily Tesla Report. I'll be back on Monday. Actually, on Sunday afternoon, we upload the Daily Tesla Report, and they'll go out for Monday, and that'll be the last one. We're actually not sure what stock we're moving to. It's going to be one of the top 5 in NASDAQ. It's going to be an Amazon, an Apple, an AMD. Not sure just yet. We're scratching our heads over the weekend. If you have any opinions, let us know on the YouTube channel. Otherwise, we're just going to make that audible, and we will let you know on Monday as to what you can expect on Tuesday. And from that point on, it'll be a new stock every month. You know, we have wrestled with, should we just continue the Tesla Report indefinitely? And there are definitely upsides to that, but we don't want to be locked into Tesla. We really want to mix it up a bit and give you some really good analysis on very day tradable stocks that are all very popular, that you've all traded or presently trade as it is. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with the last Daily Tesla Report, and you have a great weekend.